Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Eles. So today I'm here with this really fun and colorful halo eye look that I created using the Jaclyn Hill Volume 2 palette. So talking about the eye palette, I really like it so far. I enjoy the colors, which is why I bought it, and while the formula is really good, of course, it is Morphe, so what else gonna say about that, right? So if you're interested in seeing how I create this look, just stay with me and let's start with this tutorial. So I'm starting with the P. Louise eyeshadow base in the shade number 2, and I'm blending that out all over my eyelid, even in areas where you don't usually add eyeshadow, mostly in the inner corner of my eyelid and outer corner of my eyelid. I'm also cutting and defining the bottom part of my eyebrow. I don't usually do that and the top part of my eyelid, but that is just personal preference. So I do take my time blending the eyeshadow base, just because I feel that if you give it a few seconds, it works better when you're trying to add the eyeshadow. I have tried adding it right after I blend out the eyeshadow base, and it does work. It's just it takes a little bit more of time blending it out. Now that I'm done with the eyeshadow base, I'm going to go ahead and start with the burgundy shade, which is called Crazy, and I'm going to add that just in the outer corner and inner corner. I'm going to start slow. I'm going to really start packing the color in inner and outer corner and slightly start trying to connect the colors in the middle, kind of like in the crease. And for this part, it's really just about the color Crazy. I go back and forth with that shade until I'm really happy with how packed on it is and how dark it is. So once I'm really happy with how dark the color is and how packed on it is, I don't really add more shadow to the brush, but I lightly start blending out the eyeshadow. I don't go high up, I get rid of really hard edges, and this is more to get ready for the next shade, which is Dance Party. Right here I'm using Dance Party to blend out a little bit more of that look, and if you can see, this makes it look way more better when you're blending it out instead of leaving the harsh line between the dark shade and the light shade. Now to make that pink even more seamless, I'm adding the shade Certified to blend out the color even more under the eyebrow. So I don't know if you can tell right here, but there's still some harsh lines. You can still see the transition between the dark color with the pink and then the really white color. So I'm going again with the same colors in the same order and doing the same process all over again. And I will keep doing this until I'm really happy with how blended the colors are and you can't really see any harsh lines between the dark and the light colors. Then go back with Dance Party and then make it even more seamless. Now before I cut the crease, I go ahead and clean my eyelid first with an oil-free eye makeup remover and a Q-tip. I clean up my eyelid and I remove all the eyeshadow base from that area where I'm going to add more eyeshadow. I do this because I am going to use a different eyeshadow base, which is the same P. Louise eyeshadow base but a different shade. I'm using the shade 0, which is the white shade. And I'm adding that just in the center of my eyelid, looking up so I can mark where my cut crease is gonna go. I don't always just go where I marked, my eyelid marked. I do start just doing the cut crease in that part, but eventually I start going a little bit higher than where my eyelid marked. Just because I like the look that it gives. I do feel like it makes my eyes look bigger than what they really are, and I like that. Now that I have my cut crease done, I am going to take off any excess product of my brush and lightly blend out the inner and outer corner with the Crazy shade. I haven't added any eyeshadow yet. I'm just blending out the eyeshadow base with the eyeshadow that I already had on my eyelid. Now for the center of my eyelid, I am adding the yellow matte shade called No Joke, and I'm adding that all over the center of my eyelid. I'm placing it almost all over it, not all the way out to the inner and outer corner, just mostly in the center. And again, I really pack on the color. I keep adding and adding every time. I do make sure to be careful on the cut crease just because I do want a really sharp crease. It does take more time, but I love the results. And this is a tiny brush for my whole eyelid, but I do feel more secure with the small brush rather than a bigger one. It feels like I have more control over where I add it and where I don't. So I clean and spray that brush with Mario Badescu, and I go ahead and add the yellow shimmer shade called Dahlia, and I add that all over No Joke. So I don't go any farther in the inner or outer corner. I just add it exactly on top of No Joke. And again, be careful on the cut crease. And this is why I love a really tiny brush like this. It just gives you more control on details like this. And I go back again with the shade Crazy, and I start slightly blending that shade and the outer and inner corners towards the center. I very lightly mix the shade Temptress with Crazy, but again, very lightly. I also make sure to stay in the inner and outer corner with this shade. I don't go any farther because we're still gonna use the other shade. The other shade is Dance Party. This is where I feel like this look became the look. I really liked, I don't know about you, but I really liked the effect that it had on top of those two shades, which was Dahlia and No Joke. I feel like it just made it so much brighter. This is where I knew, like, I love this look. Tell me in the comments down below if you guys like the color. I feel like it made a totally different color just by mixing those two. And if you don't, tell me too. Why not? For the inner corner, I use the shade I'm In It, and I don't have to do this right now, but I always like to do it just because I like to picture the whole look. Starting with face primer, I'm using the e.l.f. Putty primer. Sorry, the e.l.f. Poreless Putty primer, but again, I don't think like it actually covers my pores. I will keep trying it, like I said on the last video. There's something about it that I like. I'm just not sure what it is. So that's pretty much why I'm still trying it, because I am still trying to figure out what it is exactly that I'm liking about this primer. Since I know that primer doesn't cover my pores, now I'm using the Master Blur Stick from Maybelline. And I'm adding that all over the parts where my pores show or where I do have fine lines. For foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear in the shades Sun Beige and Natural Rose. I'm mixing those two shades to find my perfect shade. And I'm using the e.l.f. Total Face Blending Sponge to blend this all over my face, all over my total face. Do you guys have any suggestions for face sponges? Affordable face sponges. Because I have tried the other e.l.f. one. I don't remember what it's called. It's a white one. But that one is too tiny that it makes my thumb hurt from all the bouncing all over my face. So I do want to find like more face sponges just because I want to use different things. I'm always using this one, but I mean, if I could use this one forever, I don't mind it because I really like it that much. For concealer, I'm using the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer, and again, I really like this concealer. I can't go back to any other concealer right now just because they're not my shade anymore. They're a little bit too yellow and I'm not into that yellow look anymore, so I need to either buy more or buy more. So I do add the concealer section by section just because I don't want it to dry out on me. It has happened before where the concealer dries in certain areas and then it doesn't look that good. I have had to take off my whole makeup off, and I just do this every single time that I add concealer now, just to not run the risk. To set my whole face, I'm using the Airspun Loose Face Powder in the shade Naturally Neutral, and I am focusing mostly into the center of my face, around where we get oily, around the T-zone. And to set the rest of my face, I'm only using the rest of the loose face powder that's left over on the face sponge. To bronze / contour, I'm using Maybelline Fit Me Press Powder Foundation in the shade Coconut, and I am bronzing / contouring because I have not learned how to contour yet. I always end up making some mess with my cheeks and then my forehead. Anyway, so this is what I do right now. I will work on learning how to contour, but for now let's just stay with bronzing. I do slightly contour my nose with that same shade I used to bronze, and I do just add it in areas where I want to kind of create a shade. I feel like it does make a huge difference when I do this. My nose is not symmetrical, and therefore when I do add the shades, does not come out very symmetrical. I still need to work on that though. So after I'm done with that, I do go with the sponge and then slightly blend it all out, and get my Maybelline Fit Me blush and add that all over my cheeks. I do feel like the blush just brings the whole look together. For highlight, I'm using this pink shade in the sophxmakeuprevolution palette. I really like this palette. One, it's really affordable. Two, it's really good, and I think you can't beat that. So I'm adding on the tops of my cheeks and the center of my eyebrows and the tip of my nose, and my cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. Those are the areas where I really like how it looks. We're almost done, you guys, I promise. Right here I'm curling my eyelashes to prep them for mascara, and for mascara I'm using Maybelline Lash Sensational in the shade Black, and for lashes I'm using Genesis Lashes in the style Dream. Can you see the dream? So we're back to the eyes. Now I'm adding the Crazy shade all over my lower lash line, and I'm making sure to stay really close to the lash line, and we're slightly blending it all out, not too much because we're still using Dance Party to blend it even more, and on top of that we're using Certified to blend it even more, so it just looks very seamless. And now go back again with that shade Temptress. Again, very little, just because I want the lower lash line to be really dark, as much as the inner and outer corner on the top. Now for the inner lower lash line, I added the shade Dance Party, and I really make sure to just add that shade by itself because I am going to mix it with the shade I'm in it, as you can see right here. I like it. Tell me what you think about it. Now to finish the eyes, I just add mascara on the lower lashes, and then I just clean up my lower lash line just because I feel like it gives it a pop. But yes, that's it for the eyes. Now for the lips. For the lips, I used a lip liner from Essence in the shade Satin Mauve. And I just slightly overline my lips with it and just mark the areas, slightly contour on the outer corners of my lips, but that's about it. To finish the lips, I just used the Neutrogena Hydro Boost Hydrating Lip Shine in the shade Almond. And that is it for the lips. For setting spray, I just used the Mario Badescu setting spray, but that is it, you guys. So this is the final look, you guys. I really like this look, and if you did, just let me know in the comments down below. Tell me if you like it, tell me if you don't like it. I would like to hear them all. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on more videos like this. And so until next one, guys, bye.